And so Untara will go with a pick he's well known for. Only question is, what is the blind pick mid laner? And very quickly answer, going to be the Lucian blind pick. We saw a lot of Lucian bans in Series 1 of today. Clearly the Lucian mid lane trend has not ended on patch 7.14. Can just go into Black Cleaver Blade, the Ruin King. But every option open for Sceptid, who, if you remember, was 3-0 and doing very well on Syndra in Game 1, could just return to it in Game 2.
Yeah, happily grabbed that one. Of course, Faker has played Lucian once and picked up the victory on that champion as well. Hasn't died yet on Lucian so far in the summer season. We'll see whether that's going to continue this game around, but my god, SKT, it's not necessarily full tank meta this time with the Rumble being picked up. They have a lot of options when it comes to engage and pick and late game damage as well.
It's a tempo draft from SKT, trying to get the Tristana out of lane and push, because Rumble will outpush the Maokai. The Tristana and Alistar have a lot of options in the bot lane as well. Lucian, double 80 carry, means they have good siege options, or even if they don't have the biggest range on the Lucian. It's a flexible draft from SKT, but you're right, it's not just, I hear Tranks is strong, Cho'Gath in the top lane, very standard. It is kind of the fusion of previous SKT with the new meta. So while we won't be seeing ultra tanks, it is a quintessentially SKT draft.
Yep, and I just love Wolf being back on the Alistar as well, because that's the difference between SKT's Game 2 draft and Everate's Game 1 draft, is that Kennen isn't going to offer any tankiness, whereas the Unbreakable Will, especially after the buffs, is certainly going to do that. That's going to be a matchup there. As Everate, they've jumped onto the tank meta hype train. SKT have just jumped off.
Pretty easy way to summate it, I agree. Some engage from support SKT have desperately needed for multiple games. They have it here, Wolf on the Alistar. It's a match made in heaven.
Yep, and he certainly looked good on a game number 1. We'll see whether SKT is going to be out.
Down on Alistar with everything available.
Yep, first back comes in for bangers. There's the equalizer, actually landing really nicely under both Sceptid and Malrung. There's the culling, that'll do it. Outside of vision, but who cares? Faker grabs first blood. Deserve it as well after what has been an incredibly dominant laning phase.
And great to see from Untara as well, as Wolf will interrupt the back from Ella. Untara, who's been playing the split pushes and often lose worst case scenario for Malrung, who it's just chased out of the jungle by Faker.
Speaking of worst case scenarios, that's going to be the kill. Bang grabs it onto Jewel, and Ella has to run away. That explosive shot did so much damage.
You can tell, because he didn't use Fate's Court, heal, or flash. Just straight up died.
Felt a little bit like the Maha Kalista from Game 1 in our first series of the night, Papa Smithy. But I also was very surprised by that explosion.
Genuine reactions from both. Cancelled the channel on the Rift Herald, but not able to. And now Wolf's doing his own roaming mission.
Yep, there are teleports happening everywhere, as there's the headbutt. Oh, really good equalizer. Pulverize comes in as well just to keep them on that red carpet. Turret falls mid lane, but the story is that Wolf is going to fall down, actually, and Everate winners looking to try and turn this one around. They lose the Kalista, but that's a 2-for-1 trade. But the turret did fall. Now Peanut getting chased by Sceptid, not a lot of mana, and Malrung hitting himself up here as well, but look at this. The Rift Herald still doing damage to this inner turret, as Peanut just wants to help it do its job.
Yeah, first mistake of the game for SKT. Were a bit too aggro in the bot lane while Malrung was on that side of the jungle and able to react, and they had a numbers disadvantage. And SKT would have preferred just to have Peanut and Faker take down the turrets faster in mid lane and not trade anyone, but they got greedy, trying to look for extra kills that weren't necessary. They were already winning in basically every scenario. So Everett get a couple on the board. I think at the end of the game, it won't necessarily be significant. We watched the replay, as it's pretty clear what SKT want to do, but notice that Peanut was already actually tending towards the top lane at the time. He walks down from basically where the control ward is on the top side. He's never going to get to the bot lane, and Malrung is bot side. For once, he's going to be on this side of the map, and Untara, upon seeing the threat indicator from the Rengar, realizes the only way he can even hope to trade is to flash aggressively, just like their old standards. So we're not willing to completely write off the past. SKT want to write off the Baron, and they're doing it damn fast.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Okay, Ella is going to get a Winter's Bite in there and says, yep, they've done the Baron.
Big CS leads. Every lane for SKT. There's getting access to CS, being denied to turrets. Okay, emergency engage.
Yeah, he's going to cancel the rocket jump there as well, as in goes Ella, but unable to follow it up with much at all. Wolf going to flash. Unbreakable will wear off.
Here's Maokai.
Yeah, not quite going to be able to get in there, as now Wolf just going to re-engage, wants to find the stuns as Jewel pulls out the sticks, and that is going to be the victory. On Tara, utilizing this time that Ever8 have decided to engage, and will just take half the health bar of this inhibitor.
The 4th or 5th place, which is where SKT is likely to finish, would be the wild card as bot lane.
Yeah, can't actually rocket jump out as Bang takes an ultimate, but not even half of his health bar has been removed. Ella sets up the door slightly awkwardly as Marung jumps his way in, but look at the damage burst. Has to flash his way out on Tara. No, not enough Ren stacks in there at all, and thankfully for Ever8, no one's died just yet, but
Faker!
There it goes. Faker flashing forward, picks up the Callista. Now Kane has to Twisted advance his way out of the fight, and this should spell the death of this inhibitor turret.
Let's move on to the mid lane as Justana polishes off the bot lane. Minimum 2 inhibitors here for SKT.
Only able to get the 1 pick, but now 5 versus 4 when Ever8 are behind. It's a 12,000 gold lead out of nowhere as Malrong just takes about 3 shots from Faker. And that spells half his health bar. This Lucian going pretty ballistic at this stage of the game. And they're not going to stop. Nexus turret's now under fire. Multiple minions here to tank things up as SKT fan out around this. Explosive charge going to do it. They're going to leave the last remaining inhibitor turret because they know the Jewel. Back up again, 5 versus 5 in the enemy base. Not something that SKT want to do just yet. And they'll go back and spend their buckets of change.
To the tune of 12,000.
A fantastic situation for the team as Ella, okay, looking for it. Oh God, the door, is it enough? Doesn't even look like it as Keen. He's gonna take a whole bunch of his health bar, and Faker, just a one-man wrecking crew happily underneath the turret, tanking it up himself. The last inhibitor will fall down. And remember, there are super creeps now crashing towards 1 Nexus turret. Ever8's gonna have some sort of hella heroic performance here, but Wolf is gonna deny it. Equalizer's fantastic as Keen gets his way in. The kiddies are trying to do the work that they can, but it just doesn't seem like enough as Keen's going to go down first. Faker now pushing forward. Good stuns out actually, but Bang, he does a lot of work. Faker will fall in the end, but look, even the creeps are not enough for Ever8 to deal with.
Let's look to close the game. This will be SK Telecom ending their 9-game losing streak with a win. SKT fans, which litter the audience, are stoked, but Atlas, there was no question more frequently asked of me in the past month or so than what is happening with SKT, what needs to change, and are they going to get better? And do we learn anything definitively from this series? My answer is no. You have to take in who they were facing. Ever8 is a far-gone team from Samsung Africa Jinair Longzhu, which was the run-in for SKT. But you do take away, at least implied, that SKT have a better read on the patch 7.14 meta. The sort of game where in game 2, sure, with a long leash, because SK Telecom didn't find a lot of resistance from Ever8, they made the right moves. I love how they played around their control of the enemy red side, gotten from Lucian and Rumble, both having pressure advantages, and the fact that they could enact those multi-step plans, that they never got past step 1 in their losing streak, was good signs for SKT, but it's nothing tangible. It is a tangible 2 points. It is a match victory,